Hey everybody, welcome to the video. I hope you're doing great. So I wanted to share a little bit of my basically long COVID story, what it was like, what happened, what it's like now, some of the things that I've learned, how scary it really was. And anybody watching this that's going through this, man, my heart goes out to you. I know it's really just a really tough time for you right now, and you're looking for anything and anybody that can hopefully provide you with a little bit of hope. And it's a scary place out there, this community. And I call it long COVID because I mean, at this point I really don't know what it is. I mean, there's no treatment for long COVID. It's just a name, a label that was given, but there's a lot of different labels and names for this condition. And so I'm going to talk a little bit, like I said, what it was like, what happened, what it's like now, what I've learned, where I'm at with my journey, how I'm doing now. I can tell you this, I'm doing a lot better now, but it was really scary at first. And it was probably at least a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago, that I started just feeling a little ran down. But then all of a sudden I got hit, and I got hit hard. I don't know if it was exactly, I mean, I got the flu really bad. I had an oral surgery that got infected. I had to go on antibiotics for that. Then I had a sinus infection on top of that. And then the whole system really shut down. And I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I went to urgent care and the ER and my primary physician and some specialists trying to chase this down. I tried to admit myself several times to the hospital. I just wanted to be in a hospital setting because I was that ill. And it was kind of frustrating because if you've gone through this, at first I spent a lot, and I've got a graveyard of supplements, took so many supplements. It was really, I think, in terms of supplements, almost over supplementing. The body was already in such a fight, and then to ask it to metabolize that many vitamins and minerals and herbs and whatever else that you're trying to do, it was a lot. It was a lot, but you have to try everything. The labs, the MRIs, the EKGs, the CTs. I did so many tests and labs, and I did have like a couple things, like some numbers were out of whack, but there wasn't really anything that they're like, we need to get you in to do like a procedure, or we need to get you on emergency medications or anything like that. I think I had, I don't know, a fatty liver, some scarring on my lungs. I don't know, I think a heart valve was slightly restricted, and they're like, you can take baby aspirin for that. So I kept just getting kicked loose from the hospital and just going home tortured. And I really thought, I mean, it was the worst I'd ever felt. And when I tell people, the best way I can describe what I've gone through is really basically like somebody who's gone to war, like post-traumatic stress disorder. I mean, if you've dealt with this, you are suffering from probably a similar situation as somebody's come back from war on, because you have post-traumatic stress disorder. And you're afraid, I mean, it's really, you're basically think that this is it. Like, this is it. I am not going to survive this. And so what it ultimately results in is a deregulated nervous system on top of whatever toxicity or viral or bacterial loads you might in fact be dealing with on top of that. So, you got to do what you got to do. Like for me, and I even started, I got involved with the Facebook groups. I started, researching this and found all the videos and the popular channels with the recovery stories. I also found a lot of people wanting to sell me courses. I mean, some of these courses are insane. And I was a little bit put off by this because I'm like, gosh, I've already spent so much money. Now I got these people that are selling me courses or coaching. And I was like, gosh, if you've got information that'll help people, why don't you help people? And then when I first jumped on some of these Facebook support groups, I was definitely, one of the ones where probably moderators, and there's all these moderators now trying to screen out people that, are struggling because they want people there being positive. And I get it. I mean, it's really important because I read some of these posts now and I'm like, man, I can't even be on these pages anymore. They're just too, it's too hard to read, the people in these pain. And when you finally come out the other end of this, which I guarantee chances are you will, you're a little on edge, like of relapsing back into it, right? Which is something that can happen as well. I think you'll be better conditioned. Even to me today, I still have some lingering sensations, but I'm better equipped now to deal with them, and the amount of progress that I've made allows me to at least, be able to deal with, like, I can deal with some of these, some of these lingering sensations because I'm at least regaining some quality of life back. So, you can't expect to be, perfect. Well, actually, I guess you can, but it might not happen overnight. So, that's really, what happened. What happened is I got sick. I didn't know what was going on. I went to the hospital many times. I tried every medication and supplement to try to get relief. And again, I'm not even talking about, every time you go to the doctor, they want to put you on their medications as well. Then you go to naturopath or holistic, they want to put you on their supplement regimens. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. If you've got to lean on some meds temporarily, if they're going to provide you a kickstart into recovery, so be it. Everybody's going to have their pathway out of this. There's a saying, time's a great healer. But the reality of it is, this is a really hard situation. You're probably suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, and you're going to have to learn how to calm your nervous system down. That's going to be number one in getting through this battle. I changed my diet. Again, I cut out all the, everything. I was living like a monk. And I still eat very clean. And I was eating pretty clean prior, but I was enjoying maybe a bowl of ice cream at night or something like that. But very much like I cut out coffee, I cut out a lot of things, and did a lot of things. But early on, when my symptoms were what it was like, is this, I was basically, after I just stuck at home, like, what do I do? And I was basically bedbound, couchbound, housebound for sure. Every once in a while I could get out and do a little walk, but I was really bad shape. And it's scary because this thing really rips your life away from you. Like, had to take off work. The kids, I'm like, I'm sorry guys, I can't do anything right now. I'm very limited on what I can do. It's really scary stuff. Some of the things that helped me initially was basically yoga nidra. I kind of like that, where I'd sit and listen and breathe, and it was just calming. It was a nice way to calm. And at the end of the day, what I'm learning now is really calming the nervous system, right? Messages of safety. This whole brain retraining, I'm sure you've heard about that, and we're going to get to that in a minute because it will play a key role in your recovery. But these some of the things that helped me, in fact, were cleaning up the diet, a lot of water intake, some yoga nidra, meditation, which was just sit and breathe and concentrate on your breath as long as you can. It's really when the sensations are flaring, how to not run with it. Now, for me, there was one thing I did get, maybe you guys are getting this as well, is in the evenings, I don't know if it's my circadian rhythm or whatever, is I would start to kind of calm down, and I could actually, my appetite would kind of kick in, and I would actually feel a little bit better at night. So sometimes I'd have a notebook and I'd write down. So when I woke up in the mornings just completely out of sorts, like, oh my God, can't take it, take me to the ER. Like, I've done that. I can't tell you how many times, like, I've just battled, like, should I go in? Should I go in? I can't take it. And then I go in, a lot of times go in. Wait till the evening. You tend to get relief in the evenings. And one of the more popular people in this space is Rayland's channel. And I found her, I think, early on. I think I was listening to her personal story once, and she said, sleep at any cost, And so one thing I accepted from my doctor, because I had insomnia, it was horrible insomnia. It was bad, the ear ringing, the chest pressure, the cold feet, you name it. I had every sensation under the sun with this thing. There was a few times, like, I went ahead and just took some sleep medication. Like, I don't know the quality of sleep I'm getting, but just knock me out, give me some sleep. It's important to get the body. That's when it's doing most of its repairing. is when we're sleeping. So it's hard to repair when you're not getting sleep and facing a full day after tossing and turning all night, even with a good body, much less a compromised body. That was probably some of the toughest stuff. So I appreciated her sleep at any cost, because I was really anti, I don't want any Western medicine, no pharmaceuticals, blah, blah, blah. But I bent my rules and I did take some sleep medication. But it's really important to try your best not to become dependent on it. But if you need a good night's sleep and it can give it to you, that's something that I did do. Now, moving forward, I don't know what it was. I was lucky enough, I did meet one girl who had recovered from this. She had been interviewed on Raylan's channel, and she was doing some coaching, or at least trying to get into that space because she felt called to do it. And anybody that's recovered from this, kind of like I'm making this video right now, you might be called to feel motivated to share your story or help people, or even try to make a business out of it, which many people do. And again, I'm not totally in love with a lot of these people basically preying on sick people, because I would have drank battery acid if somebody told me that's what I needed to do. I was very vulnerable and spent a lot of money. I did do ANS Rewire, which was the most affordable program. The first time through, it just did not do much for me. The second time through, it seemed to do a little more. But, getting out of this, what it was like, what happened, what it's like now, and what I've seen, I think, improve for me a lot is when it comes to brain retraining. That was a hard one for me. I was fine with it. I'd do it. I mean, teach me the brain retraining. I'll do it. And it's really, again, calming the nervous system. We have a deregulated nervous system. We have to calm the nervous system. I think the challenge for people like me, and maybe you, is we want solutions right now. And that's why sometimes a pill or a medication, if it provides any kind of relief, we'll take it. Let's give me this. I want some relief now. Brain retraining is really sending the brain messages of safety, encouragement, kind of the placebo effect in a sense. But it's not going to happen overnight, but it does tend to happen. Now, for me, one of the things that I think my coach shared with me, her brain retraining kind of mantra, I kind of took it and ran with it, and maybe even spun it into my own. You can too. It doesn't have to be some specific words or chanting, but what my brain retraining looks like now is throughout the day. I mean, when it was early on, I was saying this a lot, all day, every day. But I would just deep breath, concentrate on my posture, because that's something that was suffering. My mind's getting clearer. My body's getting stronger. Every day, I'm one step closer to a full and complete recovery. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. Every time I felt a sensation, had a negative thought, a fear, stop. Your mind's getting clearer. Your body's getting stronger. Every day, you're one step closer to a full and complete recovery. Now, seems silly, seems stupid. I don't know if it was just by chance that I started to turn a corner simultaneously when I was doing this brain retraining exercise. But throughout the day, I mean, it got to the point, because at first it was kind of hard. Like, I almost had to write it down and memorize it. And then eventually I had it memorized. It's just, my mind's getting clearer, my body's getting stronger. Every day I'm one step closer to a full, complete recovery, and then celebrate. All right, you're doing it, you're doing it, you're doing it. And eventually, my mind started to follow. Eventually my friend was like, hey man, you want to take a road trip? We should just get you out of the house, man. And I'm like, dude, no way can I leave my house. I cannot. Finally, I was like, I think I can do it. So we took a road trip, a couple days, a couple nights, stayed in some hotels. He did all the driving. It was a wonderful weather. I rolled down the window, warm air. And it really provided a nice little kickstart to I can leave my house. I can do this. So that, I think, helped me as well. And it was kind of funny. I almost had a secretly, I was kind of satisfied, because my coach, who initially, when he approached me hey, I'm getting into coaching, and I'm willing to coach you for free. So we started doing sessions once a week, and she's like, I'm going to be with you. Don't worry. I'm going to be with you to the end. I will be here for you till the end. I'm like, gosh, thank you so much. And then she let me know, like, hey, I just want to let you know, so I'm starting to get paid for this stuff now, and I'm not going to be able to help you anymore. And next week's going to be our last session. And what are you going to say? I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I get it, I understand. And man, we had our last session, and I'm like, I'm good. I am good. Like, I don't know what happened, but I'm recovering. And I just went on a road trip. I went swimming in a lake. Like, I'm good. And she's like, oh my God, like, it's crazy. And I was kind of like, yeah, see what's up? Like, uh, and because I wanted to say, like, why are you leaving me? Like, I need you. You said that you weren't going to leave me, that you're going to be with me till we got me through this. And then you just dropped this bomb on me when I was like compromised. Like, how dare you? But everything works out exactly the way it is. And of course, I'd never say that to her. I thanked her profusely, and I do everything I can for her, for her participation in my recovery. Like, anything I can do to help her promote or join a group or a Zoom, like, I'm there the best of my ability. But I really had to detach from some of these support groups and communities. And that's one of the things you'll notice is most of these communities are filled with people that are really in trouble. Once people recover, of course, they're going to start living life again and not hang around these groups unless they're trying to sell you something, or a moderator or other group. There's a few good people that remain in there just helping people. For me, it's just too early. Like, I just really want to get a good solid year of recovery under my belt. I'm probably about a month into where from like I've had the last month was like a good month, like where I actually know like now that I'm gonna be all right and that I'm good to go. So in final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, somebody wants to see you not only win in life, understand these things, understand the waters you're swimming in. They are shark infested. This is no joke for sure. This thing, you've basically been at war. You've got post-traumatic stress disorder, more than likely, calming your nervous system, messages of safety, slowly doing things that are normal, whether it's some walks, just anything you can do to just send messages of safety, slowly kind of re-entering the world again, slowly. For me, I'm really tempted to just jump back into what I was doing before I got sick. Or when I was sick, that's all I wanted to do is get back to my life the way I knew it. Now I'm like, I can't go back to the life that I once had. Things are different. I don't regret having gone through it now necessarily, but I certainly don't want to go through it again. So anything I can do to safeguard my recovery to make sure that I don't is something I am definitely willing to do. But I want you to know you will get through this. You've just been at war, or you're currently in a battle right now. Continue to send your mind messages of safety. Your mind's getting clearer. Your body's getting stronger. Every day you're one step closer to a full recovery. Own it, celebrate it, and I'll see you on the next video.